Forget any travel story you've ever heard. We are about to dive into one of the most wild, most extraordinary journeys ever written down. A full-on guided tour of the heavens seen through the eyes of an ancient prophet named Enoch.
I mean, really think about that. What if you could get a backstage pass to reality itself? To soar past the clouds, beyond the stars, and see the actual machinery that makes the cosmos tick? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Well, for one ancient writer, it was a profound spiritual reality.
And the story comes to us from this absolutely fascinating collection of ancient texts called the Books of Enoch. Now, these are what we call non-canonical works. Basically, they didn't make the final cut for the Standard Bible, but they were huge back in the day, super influential for early Jewish and Christian thinkers. And they tell the story of Enoch, who was Noah's great-grandfather, who gets whisked away on this breathtaking tour of the cosmos, layer by layer. To really get what's happening in Enoch's journey, we gotta understand the genre. This is classic apocalyptic literature. And listen, when you hear the word apocalypse, don't just think of some end-of-the-world disaster movie. The word actually means an unveiling or a revelation. These books are all about pulling back the cosmic curtain to show you how things really work. So, let's get to it. Where did Enoch go on this epic tour? His journey takes him up, 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 through a cosmos that's stacked like a 10-story building. It's time to start our tour of the 10 heavens. All right, so here's a quick look at the itinerary. We're going to start in what's basically the weather control room for planet Earth. Then we take a dark turn into an angelic prison. We'll see both paradise and a place of punishment, meet some different groups of fallen angels, and build all the way up to the mind-blowing, terrifying presence of God himself. Buckle up. So the first heaven isn't some fluffy, ethereal cloud land. Nope. Enoch describes it as a command center. He sees angels managing these enormous storehouses of snow, rain, and dew. It's this incredible vision of the universe as a perfectly organized machine where every single star, every drop of rain, is meticulously governed. And as Enoch keeps going higher, this whole idea of a divinely ordered system just gets more and more intricate. The fourth heaven, for instance, is where the sun and moon have their paths, all perfectly charted. By the sixth heaven, he's meeting archangels who are like divine administrators, managing everything from the seasons down to human souls. It's like a perfect heavenly bureaucracy, but one that actually works. But here's the thing. This perfectly ordered cosmos has a dark side. Because, as you can imagine, not everyone followed the divine plan. All this perfect order just sets the stage for an epic story of rebellion and, of course, punishment. And things get grim fast. Just one level up from that celestial control room, Enoch walks into something truly terrifying. The second heaven is a place of pure darkness, a prison. And in it, angels who rebelled are being actively tortured as they wait for their final judgment. We're not talking about a holding cell. This is a place of serious, ongoing punishment. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because it shows that not all fallen angels get the same treatment. Down in the second heaven, you've got rebels being actively tortured. But way up in the fifth heaven, Enoch meets a different group. The Grigori, you might know them as the Watchers. These are the guys who came down to Earth and caused all sorts of trouble. But they aren't being tortured. They're just sad, in a state of limbo. And get this, Enoch actually advocates for them, trying to get them to repent. So you see, it's a whole system of justice with different levels of wrongdoing. Okay, so after witnessing cosmic order and cosmic justice, Enoch's journey reaches its absolute climax. He's brought into the very throne room of God, and the way it's described is just, wow. It's one of the most powerful and, frankly, terrifying visions in all of ancient literature. First, he enters an antechamber, a room before the main event, and it completely breaks the laws of physics. It's burning hot and freezing cold at the exact same time. And the feeling isn't peaceful or blissful, it is terrifying. The raw power is so overwhelming that it just sucks all the pleasure out of the air and fills him with pure, trembling fear. Then, he sees the throne itself. And again, it's this impossible combination of opposites. It looks like it's made of crystal clear ice, solid, frozen, pure. But it's surrounded by the blazing, brilliant light of the sun. It's a vision of total stillness and unimaginable energy, all at once. And finally, he looks at who is on the throne, but it's not described like a person. There's no face or body. It's just called the Great Glory.
The being is defined entirely by light, a light so intense and pure it makes both the sun and the snow look dull. It's an attempt to put words to something that is truly beyond words.
Now, if you've read the Bible, this might be ringing a bell. It's really cool to compare Enoch's vision to the famous one from the prophet Ezekiel. You can see they're both drawing from a similar well of ideas, a brilliant throne surrounded by fire. But the details are different. Ezekiel sees a throne like a sapphire with fiery wheels. Enoch sees a throne of ice with the shape of the sun. It's like two different artists trying to paint the same indescribable thing. So what's the point of all this? The storehouses of snow, the angel prisons, the throne of fire and ice? Was this just some wild, fantastic story? Well, according to scholars, it was way, way more than that.
What we're really looking at here is something called apocalyptic cosmology. And that's just a fancy way of saying it's a symbolic map. It's not a literal map of physical space. It's a map of a worldview. It uses the heavens, the stars, and angels to make big, powerful statements about God, justice, and how the world is supposed to work.
So what does this map show us? Well, number one, it screams that the universe is not chaotic. It is run by divine laws. It gives a very clear explanation for where evil comes from, not from God, but from the rebellion of these angels, the Watchers. It hammers home the idea of divine justice, showing that, hey, sin has real cosmic consequences. It's this amazing mix of early astronomy, mythology, and theology, all rolled into one. And you have to imagine, for the people reading this back then, showing them this perfect, ordered heaven was maybe a way of critiquing the corrupt and chaotic world they were living in on Earth. Ultimately, the Book of Enoch is a powerful attempt to map the entire universe, to figure out our place in it. It answered the biggest questions about justice, order, and evil by looking up at the stars. And that kind of leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? We don't really use angels and celestial storehouses to map our reality anymore, but we're still searching for that same order, that same meaning. So how do we map our universe today? What are the tools we use, whether they're scientific, philosophical,